Okay, it's TLB time and top list Thursday.
Yes, toplist Thursday.
And today it's themed because Eternal Masters is out,
Yeah.
both in paper and now online. And I guess it's just top 5 most expensive cards you can open
Yes.
in Eternal Masters, and I guess also why they are so expensive. We could discuss that.
We're gonna discuss why they are so expensive. Yeah.
So starting on number 5, we have the card Wasteland, and this was printed in Tempest pretty long ago.
It hasn't been printed that many times.
No, it's like it has been like a foil, judge foil or something,
Yeah.
and then Expedition.
Yeah, Expedition promo card, and then just in Tempest. So
So it was long ago. I guess not that many copies because people have played it as a 4-off in both legacy decks and vintage decks, because that's the only formats where they are legal,
and that's why they're so expensive.
and if you look at, for example, vintage Super League and stuff like that, most of the decks are playing the card. Not all of them, but it's a very effective way to disrupt your opponent by destroying their lands.
Yeah.
And you can combine it with cards like
Crucible of Worlds.
Yeah, Crucible of Worlds. Yeah. And get them mana locked and stuff like that.
And it's weird that Strip Mine is so cheap, but this is so expensive.
Yeah, but that's because it's restricted.
And also Strip Mine has been printed in
more
many times.
Yeah,
So
and I guess it was maybe in like 4th edition or maybe revised or something, so there were a lot of copies.
yeah.
And people only play a one-off when they do. And Wasteland you need 4, and it's played more widely, I guess.
So if you open a Wasteland, you should be happy.
Yeah, basically.
Move on to number 4. We have Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Number 4.
So this is from World Wake.
Yeah, World Wake.
And it's played in Legacy and in Vintage.
Yeah.
But in Legacy, it's like a house card in Miracles.
Yeah, I think it's played more in Legacy. I guess Miracle, Sneak and Show, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but I guess Vintage you have the Mentor decks, Oath decks and stuff, and card decks that's similar to that. I don't know if they play that many copies of it in
No, maybe
Vintage
not.
as they do in Legacy, but it's more played in Legacy at least.
And it's famous because it was part of the deck that everyone played in Standard.
Yeah, the Caw-Blade deck.
The Caw-Blade deck.
Where
So
there were multiple cards banned.
Yeah.
within the Standard
and
rotation.
everyone, if you didn't play the Caw-Blade deck, you couldn't win tournaments. So everyone had to have 4 copies of Jace.
Yeah, basically.
So the price obviously went to the roof.
Yeah, it was
Or through the roof.
probably the best Planeswalker ever printed.
Yeah.
It was within Standard that usually gets most play. It was a 4-of, and everyone needed it. And
Everyone
it was,
needed it.
I guess, mythic. So yeah, it skyrocketed in price.
And it hasn't been printed. I guess it has been printed as a...
Yeah, but not in a set or anything.
No,
Not a
but in like a From the Vault or something.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Yeah, it was World Wake. Then there was something called Vintage Masters. I don't know how many played that. And then From the Vaults.
Yeah.
And now
Eternal Masters.
Masters. So yeah, very good card, and this should be very good in Limited as well.
I think so too. It's an amazing Planeswalker. And Planeswalkers are good in Limited, but this is just better.
Yeah, but for value purposes, it's also nice.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Number 3.
We have Force of Will, and this card has been, I guess, a format staple in all extended formats forever.
Yes.
I guess basically all blue decks play it. And in, for example, Vintage, you really need, if you're a blue deck, you need a way to disrupt the broken.
Yeah, the
start.
broken... Yeah, exactly.
If opponent plays turn 1 Oath with the Orchard out, and they can just next turn have Greaselbrand or Emrakul or whatever, then...
You need to counter the Oath.
Yeah, you need to be able to counter something even when you haven't played anything yet.
No.
Or against maybe the hate bear type of decks, or if you call it the prison decks. If they just get out the lock pieces before you even get your turn.
Yeah, and they can.
Yeah,
so.
you have to be able to counter it. So Force of Will has always been really good. Good in cube and stuff like that too. But I mean, it's usually a 4-off in the blue decks.
In both Legacy and Vintage, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen. I guess the Vintage World Champion won with 3 Force of Wills in the deck, but people were pretty weirded out by it.
Yeah,
but he won, so I guess. But it's mostly a 4-off.
Yes, and it is number 3 on the most expensive cards in Eternal Masters. So it's if you find it, you should be happy.
Yeah, and the original printing is pretty famous, and I guess it was from Alliances, and then it has also been like
a Judge
Vintage Masters promo,
yeah,
some sort of different editions, and now the Eternal Masters. So yeah, that's number 3.
Yeah, and then moving on to number 2, we have the famous land Caracas. So this was printed in Legends.
That's also long ago.
It's very long ago, and it's played mostly in Legacy, I think.
Yeah.
Not too much in Vintage, but in Legacy it's very good.
Yeah, and it feels like a pretty good sideboard tech against like sneak attack, show and tell stuff like that.
Yeah, you can bounce Emrakul for example.
Mostly they're playing legendary stuff like Griselbrand and whatever. But it also has shown up in Vintage in the new deck White Eldrazi, for example, that people are playing right now. And
and the thing about this card is about all the cards we have mentioned is that they have only been printed once.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for the high price, I guess.
Yeah, and usually long ago. And there are not a lot of copies left and whatever. So I guess it's good for people playing extended formats that they are reprinting them.
Yeah, it's very good actually.
And I guess we move on now to number 1.
Yeah, number 1, the most expensive card in the set is Mana Crypt.
Yeah, and we have looked at some lists, and I guess there are some price variances, of course.
Yeah.
But it has the highest high price, and it was almost the same medium price as Force of Will. So depending on the page you're looking at, it could differ, but where we have looked, it is Mana Crypt that has the potential to be the most expensive.
Yeah.
And the 0 mana enchantment is just broken mana acceleration.
And with Mana Crypt, if you have played a card like in Cube or something, if you're not a Vintage player, you know how powerful it is.
Yeah, I mean you can just have broken turn once.
Broken starts.
Storm decks can have a weird amount of mana. You can ramp out something big very early, and it's just very good. And if the game goes very long, I guess you can die to the flips, but usually you kill before that. So it's just two mana for basically playing another land that turn or whatever.
Tails never fails. You usually go by that.
Yeah, okay. But it's like a double mox basically.
Yeah.
It's sometimes ridiculous. Even no drawback.
So Mana Crypt was the most expensive card.
When did that come out? Mana Crypt was from... I don't even remember. I guess it was like originally released in some weird promo set for Gatherer, some special set.
Yeah.
And then it has been in like some weird Masters edition, Vintage Masters, and now Eternal Masters.
Yeah, so
I guess it only counts because it's only played in Vintage.
Yeah, but it hasn't really been in a real set.
No, so maybe Vintage is the only set where you can play it.
Yeah, it could be that.
But there, I guess it's played in a lot of decks. So
yeah,
and that's why I guess it's so expensive.
Yes,
it has the potential. I mean, the highest high price or whatever. Yeah, because it's only legal in Vintage, I guess. I mean Commander, but we're not really talking about Commander here.
No.
And it's restricted as the Moxes and Black Lotus, so it's considered one of the power cards.
I guess
in that matter.
I guess so.
Yeah, and I mean these 5 cards are, even if the ordering could maybe differ between one or two.
Yeah,
of
the
them
value is different on some
on
pages,
different
I
pages,
guess.
but it's not close to any card else in
No,
the set. I think
no.
these are the 5.
The 5 big ones.
Yeah. So if you open one of those in paper or not playing Phantom or Magic Online, I guess on Magic Online stuff can just be super cheap.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's this list doesn't really work on Magic
No,
Online.
we're talking paper, but I guess it should probably translate.
Kind of.
Kinda, even though the prices are not the same.
Yeah.
Obviously, I remember when we opened like the expeditions and stuff on Magic Online. And
Yeah, they were
got
worth like 4 ticks.
four ticks for a good expedition.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you should not expect too much.
No.
Depends on maybe how much it's played.
And I guess Vintage Masters was released on Magic Online, played on Magic Online, so...
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't know if we played a lot then, or
Mm.
if we just didn't care.
I don't know. Okay, so that was the list this week.
Yeah, tomorrow we will do our first.
Yeah, we will record a draft tomorrow and try to get it up as early as we can. So
yeah,
we can...
tomorrow evening we should have it up.
Yes.
But for now you have to do with the top list.
Yeah.
So let's see what we do next Thursday.
Yeah, and come back tomorrow and watch the draft.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.